Why is the market so tough in the UK? Let's firstly start there. We touched upon this briefly, I think, last time around we talked about La Liga, but I think the Bundesliga really fits basically the same bill. There is a couple of stars in the Bundesliga that might be appealing to the English market, obviously. Harry Kane being the lead there, Joby Bellingham as well, perhaps. Um, but the reality is there isn't a media rights demanded market. Sky is up to the eyes, up to their elbows. I don't know the right metaphor there. Up to their elbows in domestic football matches. They just don't need more Bundesliga matches. I've seen some people saying like, "Oh, these creators beat out the Sky for the rights to this content." I just think Sky just didn't need it, didn't want it. They've got too much on their plate already, particularly in the Saturday slot, where it's just full up with all the EFL and Premier League. Why would they throw in the Bundesliga if they would probably have some minimum expectation of what would be done with it as well. But basically, there was not much demand in market for something that doesn't really move the needle at all. And TNT's been playing a very conservative game for some time now. So I think this move was inevitable. But what we need to kind of talk about, I think, is like maybe how they got comfortable enough to get here. I think this is the bit that may be lost on some people in the market who aren't following it. Like, you can't underestimate the role YouTube itself as an organization and the people working there are playing in getting these deals happening. They are like producing the business case, basically, or helping all parties come together because they're not putting up the fee, although I've heard some people suggest they are. For what I understand, the business approach that I've heard is they don't commit to any rights fees. What they do is they do a whole bunch of other stuff to support and facilitate these types of deals. And they effectively are putting together the business case for these organizations to commit to basically get confidence, I think is the right word, in making the move to try this new approach, an innovative approach. And that could be what sort of numbers can be generated, what sort of revenues can be generated, what sort of CPMs can be delivered, what other ways of monetizing through digital sponsorships and so forth. They can potentially open doors for some of those, perhaps, or at least upskill people to maximize the value of those rights. And looking at using all their advanced metrics to be able to go, all right, here, the overlap based on your audience, we can guarantee a certain level of CPM of any advertiser coming on platform and extrapolate all that out to go, all right, you're going to generate this sort of revenue. So whether that, I'm being told it's not a guarantee, but it sounds like it's more likely an estimate, but an estimate with confidence. I've had some people say that it's more than that, but I'm gonna stick with the company line and think it's more of just they're giving very specific estimates on what can be achieved with probably like a range, with a high level of confidence that can be delivered. And then those deals are revenue shares. So I'm not sure if any rights deal is being exchanged from the creators in Overlap and Mark Goldridge to do that. But in the end, there's a revenue share approach where YouTube gets a cut, the creators are getting a cut, and Bundesliga are likely getting a cut. So that's how I believe those things will play out. But my point is that YouTube itself, the executives there, are absolutely doing a lot of work to bring this to life. And now it's gaining momentum. So that's why they're putting in so much hard work to get market adoption. So now that will kind of be self-sustaining and keep bringing in more and more opportunities, would be my guess.